Mr. Kenneth McIver, I presume.
That's right. Who are you?
Torquil Farquar McFarquar, international capitalist, and at your service. A cigar, sir.
Ashtray, please.
You're not smoking, Mr. McIver. That is a Havana.
Thank you.
It's not a cigar, Mr. McFarquar.
Ah, you're confused by all this.
Well, yes, I am.
It's very straightforward. Ava has put the Commandante into a very deep hypnotic trance. He let us in, he'll let us out again.
Hypnotic trance.
Ava, Miss Grimm, had a very successful stage act before she and I became lovers. But I digress. Let's talk about you. How long are you in for?
130 years.
Sorry?
130 years. Less time off for good behavior.
You're clearly not a man that's enjoyed the best of luck, Mr. McIver.
And we all have the odd downturn in fortune now and then.
Of course we do.
My brother. All I ever wanted to do was prove that I was better than him, Mr. McFarquar. And the way to do it was clearly by material success, and quickly. So I left home with the intentions of becoming a cat burglar in the playgrounds of the rich and famous. I read up on safes, and in theory there wasn't a safe I couldn't open. But I never gave a moment's thought to dogs.
Dogs?
In the first house I ever burgled, there were these big dogs. When the surgeons took my leg off, I knew I could never be a cat burglar. So I spent my time in prison reading up on explosives. During my next spell in prison, I did some serious thinking and decided a change in scenery might bring a change in fortune. Not that I'm unluckier than the next man.
No.
So I came to South America, and I came across this bank. Well, I cased it and I cased it till I found a way in, through the air conditioning system. When the emergency services got there, they could only get me out through the floor of the house above. When no one answered the door, they just broke it in. But the owner was at home, Mr. McFarquar. The owner was the state president, and he'd been using the house as a love nest. When the story got out, the government fell.
But 130 years, Mr. McIver.
The judge at my trial was the ex-president's brother.
Ah. And,
Oh, I got that here, in the exercise yard.
a knife fight.
No, I got a piece of grit in my eye and instinctively tried to rub it away.
The sort of thing that could happen to anyone with a hook.
I prefer to call it an artificial hand. Now, can I ask why you're here?
As I said, Mr. McIver, I'm an international capitalist. But despite my great wealth, I'm as much a prisoner as you are. Only while you are locked in, I'm locked out.
Out of where?
Out of Scotland, Mr. McIver. Out of my native land, a land I love as much as life itself. You see, when I was a lad, I too was desperate to get that first foothold on the ladder of success. And I did so by embezzling a few £1 million from the financial institution I worked for. But I left clues, damning evidence, and there's been a warrant out for my arrest ever since. But over the years, I've managed to compensate for the loss of my homeland.
How?
By buying things Scottish. Now, a few days ago, I had myself a shoe shine in the capital city of this country. And the shoe shine boy, one Pepe Gonzalez, spotted me for a Scotsman. And he told me how there was a fellow countryman of mine in prison, one Kenneth McIver.
I remember Gonzalez.
And do you remember the story you told him, Mr. McIver? Of how the Stone of Destiny itself is hidden near your native village of Lochdubh?
I told Pepe that story.
Could it possibly be true, Mr. McIver? The coronation stone of the old Scottish kings. The Leah Vale. The Stone of Scone, the Stone of Destiny, Mr. McIver. Could it possibly be true?
As true as you and I are standing here, Mr. McFarquar.
And for £500,000, 50 grand up front and the rest on delivery, could you get me the Stone of Destiny, Mr. McIver? McIver. And you get to walk out of here now, a free man.
Five people shared the knowledge of the stone's whereabouts. Each one was given a line of verse, a clue to the location. But not me. I was never told, oh no, I was never good enough. But I can lead you to them. I was there. I saw it all.
Viva Scotia! Viva! Sons and daughter. Beneath that cloth is a most precious part of your country's regalia. It was torn from Scotland, stolen from our blessed soil by the English in 1296, but brought back here by we five a few years ago. Now,
On with it, Colonel. You're frightening the life out of them.
Trey's right. This is the Stone of Destiny, children. We brought it back during the war and buried it till we could decide what to do with it.
And after much debate,
We've decided on a resting place for the stone.
And we all agree that you, our children, should share the secret of the stone's location.
John McIver, Lachlan McRae, Peregrine Roderick MacLean, Roryson Campbell, and I.
now, commit to memory what you find in your envelope, and never, ever, ever, ever discuss the contents amongst yourselves or with any other person. Only when the time is right can the location of the stone be revealed. Only when Scotland becomes a nation once again. Only then.
Colonel, maybe they would like to see what they're protecting first.
Is there to be no solemnity here?
Hi, John. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just having a bit of a clear out.
I see. So where you been the past couple of days? People worried about you, you know.
Oh, I've been out walking mainly.
What's wrong?
These are things I'd like you to have, Hamish. There's more inside that you can give to those concerned when the time comes.
Time? Not with you, John.
I'm going to die soon. I've felt it for a few days now.
Ah. Die? You been to see Doc Brown?
No. No doctors. I just feel I'm near the end of my time here.
No, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm not listening to this. Yeah, I don't need this.
Hamish.
Look, nobody can know that, John. Nobody. I don't want any of this.
Hamish.
No, you just listen to me. I want you back in there tomorrow. I want you doing the things that you've always done. And I don't want to hear him talk about dying, okay?
Well, of course I'll come in, but it'll make no difference, you know.
What did I just say?
I'll try not to mention it.
Good. You're good. I seen the stag then.
Aye, right.
Maybe even cook you dinner.
Dinner? Ah.
okay? Hamish? Good.
It's all psychological, really, isn't it? We were all talking about curses and witch doctors in school. And the teacher said you could only die from a curse if you believed in it.
I don't know, Frankie. I love John McIver like my own. But if he says he's going to die, he is going to die.
But TV John's steeped in the paranormal. And if we can help him forget about that, then we solved the problem.
Just you get yourself on up that hill, boy. Leave the problem solving to us.
Here you are. Caster sugar, Hamish. The finishing touch. Caster sugar. Okay.
Plum duff underway then?
Right.
John McIver loves his plum duff, boy.
God, can I just get one off the peg?
That's just not the same, Hamish.
Of course not. Just the thought of all those additives gives me the willies.
Rory! Are you coming in?
Right away, dearest.
It's all to do with belief systems. It's what John believes in that's the problem.
What, you think he could actually believe himself to death?
Oh, yes.
What I don't understand is, if he thinks he's going to die, why hasn't he been to see me about the arrangements?
Lucky Junior.
Well, it's never too early to plan for that final journey.
Nope, it's the man himself.
Good evening, John.
Good evening, John.
Yes, me. John, care to join us? Agnes has been way too generous with the cock o' van.
Oh, another time, perhaps, Rory. I'm having dinner with Hamish tonight. God help us.
Missing you already.
Missing you already?
It's an Americanism, dear. It's like, have a nice day.
It has unfortunate connotations, Rory.
Oh. And tell me, what do you use those things for, Lackey Junior?
These are for reaching the places that other forceps can't. Barney?
Good evening, John. And what can I get for you?
Just the usual, Agnes.
The usual. John McIver. You're a friend as well as a valued customer. And in recognition of that fact, Barney and I have decided that you can have any drink you want, and for free. In fact, we've decided that you'll never have to pay for another drink in this bar.
Well, that's very generous of you both. I think I'll have a nip of something around 12 years old.
Just you stay where you are.
You know, these instruments have barely changed since ancient times, since the Egyptians discovered their mummification techniques.
Mummification? You surely don't...
No. There's no demand. But I could if I was asked, mind. It's just a case of knowing which bits to suck out and what concoctions to pump in.
Fascinating. What's that used for?
This is for the pumping in. Or, if we put it in the reverse, the sucking out.
Fascinating. What did you say, John?
Oh, fascinating. Mind you, you do get your difficult corpses.
Difficult corpses?
Oh, yes. Tall men are especially problematic. Take a man like TV John here. Well, there's no coffin would fit a man that tall. Tall men are torture.
And what do you do in the circumstances?
Well, that's when the old rigor mortis comes in nice and handy, Agnes. You see, the limbs become nice and brittle, easy to break.
Break?
Just the legs. Then all you do is tuck them up under the deceased, pin a shroud to the bottom of the coffin, and anybody looking at them's none the wiser. In the trade, it's known as the Toulouse-Lautrec method.
Sounds a bit dire, does it not? And how do you actually break the legs, Lackey Junior?
There are many methods, Agnes, but I prefer this myself.
Excuse me. I think you've hit the spot. I see Hamish has been talking then.
The man's worried sick. Would you expect him to be any other way?
No.
So, you're quite sure about this, then?
Oh, I'm sure.
Do you know when?
Not exactly, but it'll be the smell. You know, the pomade.
Pomade.
Here.
Can I say 3 things while there's still time, John?
Of course you can.
First, I'm going to miss you, John. And second, when you get where it is you're going, if you should happen to bump into my Mary, tell her I still love her. And tell her that the boy has turned out well.
And the third thing?
You're not forgetting you've got some information to pass on before you go.
How could I forget that? I've decided to tell Hamish.
I thought he might be the one.
Please, just let me take care of the luggage. And you go on inside.
They don't make things the way they used to.
If you say so.
Well, they don't. And as for that overhead locker on the plane, well, how was I to know my duty-free would come flying out like that?
It'll clear up. I'm not concerned. Now, please, just go inside.
Tastes excellent. Thanks, Hamish. Plum duff's always been my favourite.
It's no problem. You know, I've been telling myself I need to get a wee bit more experience in the kitchen. Be a bit more varied in my approach.
Oh, well, that's no bad thing for a man that's going to be on his own.
Oh, John.
Oh, no, I wasn't on about that. I was talking in general. No woman in your life, I mean.
Yeah.
You know, it's my one great regret, never having married. You take it from me, you should grasp that nettle.
What?
Well, you and Isabel, man. The whole world can see that all that's needed is for one of you to take the initiative.
Ah, maybe.
Well, there's no maybe about it. Incidentally, I've a favour to ask.
Yeah, listen.
I fancy a bit of hill walking. Will you come with me?
Aye. Sounds fine to me.
Ah, good.
Go on with you. Get back in.
Good morning.
Have you lost something?
My pendant. Ah, there it is. Ah, it was my mother's, and I'd hate to lose it.
And may I?
Oh.
It looks very beautiful.
Yes, I think so too. Sometimes, when I'm tense, I find it helps me to relax if I just sit and look at it sparkling. Sometimes it's simply so soothing. I just drift off into the deepest of sleeps. You can ask as many questions as you like.
Facts from Miss Grimm, sir.
What does it say?
And the young go to bask in the sun.
And the young go to bask in the sun?
Let's try a piece to camera from here.
Right.
Okay,
Just a second.
ready?
Yeah, ready.
Hold that.
There we are. It's just a matter of patience.
Ah, it's a fine display, Rory.
Aye, it's eye-catching.
Thank you, men. In total, that took me 1 hour and 20 minutes to achieve. 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Well. The gang's all here.
Kenneth?
Aye, the very same, brother. Well, this is Miss Ava Grimm, my business associate. Ava, this is my brother John, and Rory Campbell, and Lachlan McRae. I don't know who the brat is.
Brat?
Quiet, Frankie.
Kenneth?
Well, it's very nice to see you again, Kenneth.
Nice to see what's left of him. He looks as if he's been on the wrong end of spare parts surgery.
Frankie, it's nice to see you again, Kenneth.
Kenneth?
I've already said that a number of times, brother.
Kenneth?
Please, let's have no displays of phony affection.
40? It's been 35 years, man.
Oh, has it? Well, I hadn't noticed. But I wouldn't, would I? Not being as busy as I was. Busy becoming the success I always said I would be. Miss Grimm and I are staying at the lodge. Now, I would be grateful if you could provide us with supplies for 2 days. You can keep the change.
This article can't be your brother, TV, John. It can't be.
TV.
He was the first man in Lochdubh with a set.
That's your claim to fame, is it? The first man in the village to have a television set. Oh, I think that is pretty pathetic. Don't you think so, Miss Grimm?
I have no view on the matter.
No? Oh, I think it speaks volumes about this insignificant scarecrow and the rest of the hicks that inhabit this place. Is it any wonder a man like myself had to leave? Only a lobotomy could have kept me here.
Well, you were always a smart one, right enough, Kenneth. Remember, Rory?
I remember. I take my hat off to you, Kenneth. You appear to be a great success indeed. And despite young Frankie spotting right off that your famous bad luck stayed with you...
Bad luck? I have no more bad luck than the next man.
What was it we used to call Kenneth Lachlan? What with my lobotomy and everything, it slipped my mind.
Aye. Jonah, wasn't it?
I am not a Jonah! I am a success! Look at me! Look at you! I am a success! I am not a Jonah! I do not suffer from bad luck!
Major? Major McLean?
What happened to me?
I was wondering if he knows what I know.
Oh,
Oh, just musing. Could we take that walk tomorrow, Hamish?
Yeah, sure.
Kenneth was always such a bright boy, but our parents always made more of a fuss of me. They were very proud of my psychic gifts, you know, and Kenneth came to resent that.
Ah, well, that's not uncommon. Still, you think he'd mellowed a bit after 35 years?
Now, I've always suspected that Kenneth had psychic powers far greater than my own. Somehow all that bitterness and... Isabel.
were seriously ill.
Nothing the matter with me, I'm okay. It's all right.
Oh, look, it said.
Isabel, it's all right. Calm down. There's nothing the matter with me. I'm okay.
That's
I'm all
what it
right.
said.
I know. I'm all right, though. There you go.
Thanks.
Do you not think to check things out first?
Check? I didn't take the call. The message said you were at death's door. Do you want me to paint a picture, Hamish?
No, no. I'm sorry.
Did the caller leave a name?
No. No, I just supposed it was someone from here, you know, someone who knew us. I was out on a job down by the bridge. We'd only just set up. I just dropped everything and left them all in the lurch. I didn't even have time to ring into the office.
Well, I'm sorry it happened, Isabel, obviously.
Hello again.
Miss Grimm, a fine evening.
Yes, it is.
Luke in the place where the monarch soars. Look in the place where the monarch soars, and the young go to bask in the sun. Place where the monarch soars. The monarch soars, and the young go to bask in the sun. The young in the sun.
I'm going mad. Mad? You're not mad. You've had a bit of a turn, that's all.
Oh, he was just standing there, Doctor, with his vacant look in his eyes.
I'm going mad. I know it.
It was just as if he'd been zombified, as if all the vital juices had been thrown off him.
What are you doing?
Never you mind, Miss Grimm. Now, if our little ruse has worked, Miss Isabel Sullivan should be in the vicinity by now. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I wonder what she'll have to tell us.
Hamish? Hamish?
She's very distressed, Doctor. When I found her, she was just staring into space. She must have been there all night.
Isabel, what's happened?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been trying to remember. I just can't. I can't remember.
Isabel, listen, I don't think there's anything to worry about. The same thing's happened already to Rory and the Major, and they've both recovered. They've come out of it.
Oh, where's Hamish?
I don't know.
No, he should be here.
He'll be here when he finds out what's happened.
You can be sure of it.
He should be here.
time for a brew, I think.
Look in the place where the curtain roars. Roars. Look in the place where the monarch soars. And the young go to bask in the...
This is the life, eh?
It's a grand day, all right.
Have we headed anywhere in particular?
Pembroke Falls.
Right.
Here's something I'd like you to read.
Lochdubh invaded by military police.
Well, it was 1942. They'd come to round up Ewan McIver, my father, along with Ferguson MacLean, Hector Campbell, Angus McCrae and John Finlayson. That was Isabel's grandfather. On account of them being AWOL.
And they were all on the run at the same time?
That's right. You see, they'd come up north with a stone of destiny.
What?
I think you heard me, Hamish.
John, the Stone of Destiny's in Westminster Abbey underneath the coronation chair, as far as I know.
No, that's a fake, Hamish. A copy made by Lachlan's father, Angus.
You are winding me up, right?
No. Well, you know what these McRaes are like. They can turn their hands to anything.
No, I mean about this whole conversation, John.
Then no again. What happened was, during the war, the stone was removed from the abbey and hidden. Then a plan was sent to the Canadian Prime Minister for safekeeping, just in case of invasion, you understand. Well, as luck would have it, there was a young Scots-Canadian officer, some sort of far-out relative of the Major's on the distaff side. Well, he saw the plan. This young man just happens to bump into the Major's father at some sort of officer shindig and suggests that they remove the stone and replace it with a replica. Ferguson MacLean then approached my father and the others, who instantly agreed to the scheme.
Hey, Harry!
By all accounts, their objective was easily achieved. And they found the Stone of Destiny. My father told me it was a full 5 minutes before any man could speak.
Viva Scotia. Viva.
They returned the copy McCrae made and brought the real thing up here. Clues to the stone's whereabouts were put into verse by Hector Campbell. Old MacLean came up with this grand scheme where each line of verse would be passed on to the eldest in each family, and they, in turn, would pass it on to their children.
But no single one of them knew?
Oh, I knew. My father thought the scheme dangerously complicated and just came right out and told me where it was. It's Latin. Roughly translated, it reads, "If fates go kind, where'er this stone is found, the Scots shall monarchs of that realm be crowned." Could you give me a hand, please, Hamish? Oh my God, it's beautiful. No, it's actually very plain, Hamish. It's the light in here that flatters. So. They say it's thousands of years old, and that it was brought across Europe by the Celtic peoples. The Stone of Destiny, Hamish. The coronation stone of the ancient Scottish kings.
Why me?
I've no one else to tell, Hamish.
What am I going to do now?
Nothing. Just pass on the information to your children when the time comes. The stone can lie here till all the people want it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. But what about the stone and the abbey? I mean, the fake, what if they decide to give it back?
I think if they had decided to give it back, I would have known about it, Hamish. So you'll keep the secret, then?
What do you think?
Good man.
But, just because I'm a bit dewy-eyed here, doesn't mean to say I'm accepting this dying nonsense.
Oh, you've made that abundantly clear, Hamish. Now, come on. You can come back and see it any time you like.
Don't believe this.
Look in the place where the monarch soars and the young come to bask in the sun. Look in the place where the monarch soars and the young come to bask in the sun. Look in the place where the curtain roars. Dee-dum, 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 dee-dum. Look in the place where the monarch soars. The monarch, the king of fish. Yes.
Oh, yes. That poor family's relief was palpable when I arrived on the scene. Arrived and took charge. Yes, I am a happy chappy. I've got Jean. And I've got my profession. Now, I know some people may think it's a bit of a morbid occupation, but that is entirely the wrong perspective to take. What I am is a rock, a shining beacon in that sea of grief, and that requires a certain quality. A cool head when confronted by that grim reaper. Are you listening to me? You haven't said a word since I came in. Daddy? Daddy?
He was a widower, and he had a wee boy. And apart from having a wee boy, he had a brown coat.
Something's wrong with Isabel. Sorry, John.
Oh, 30 years. I've been working with horses for 30 years, and I've never been bitten before.
Well, there is a first time for everything, Mr. Finlay. Now, you just console yourself while I have a word with my partner.
What?
Where winter steps can be clump. That's what he said. Is that the word? Clump?
Who actually cares, Miss Grimm? I know where the stone is. Look in the place where the monarch soars. That's the salmon. They swim up waterfalls. Where the young come to bask in the sun. There's this place where we children would go to swim in hot summers. Where the curtain roars. A waterfall again, Miss Grimm. And that dreadful line about winter steps. Sometimes, when the falls froze, you could climb right up it. I know where the location is, Miss Grimm. I really do.
Why 4 horses?
Because I say so, Miss Grimm. Now, let's get ready.
I better make a move. If everything's okay.
Yeah, I'm much better now.
Listen, tell me, how upset were you when you got that phony message?
Well, I was upset.
Aye, I know, but more than just, oh, poor Hamish. More than just that kind of upset. Isabel.
Yes. Why wouldn't it be? You're one of my closest friends, Hamish. One of my closest friends.
That's good to know.
Do you want another drink? Or we could go to the Stag Bar.
What's up with here? Stag Bar it is. Come on.
We don't need that.
Oh, yes, we do.
Probably. Yes, I'm sure, Lackey. I think I know what we're dealing with here.
What's up, Doc?
Kenneth? It most certainly is, brother. And come to collect the Stone of Destiny.
What?
Stone of Destiny. Watch my lips. Stone of Destiny.
What your brother means, Mr. McIver, is that he's going to sell the stone to my... Ah!
Oh, I think you've got a midgie on your eyelid, Miss Grimm. Oh, they get absolutely everywhere, you know. Lips, nostrils, ears... Oh, everywhere. Oh, but about the stone, brother, just so you know, Miss Grimm's gentleman friend has offered me top dollar for that outsized brick. Top dollar.
You know I can never tell you where the stone is, Kenneth.
Oh, would you listen to him, Miss Grimm? He thinks I've come for directions. I know where the stone is, brother. Look in the place where the curtain roars, dee-dum, dee-dum, dee-dum.
Even by old Hector Campbell's standards, that is one terrible set of verses where winter steps can be clomb. God almighty.
If you know where the stone is, why have you come here?
Don't you know, brother? And you with your psychic gifts. And take a guess, brother. Take a guess.